Avoir. Okay, welcome back to another episode of FitPet Boston Talks. My name is Leah Lodato and I am the host of the show, and today I am going to do a little solo episode because Laurie is grooming a dog. It is a large job and she's going to be exhausted after that, and this is the time that we normally record our podcast episodes, so here I am. Ta-da! If you are new to the show, thank you so much for your listening ear. Historically, this podcast has interviewed local Boston area dog handling professionals, and we have chit-chatted about our lives, dogs, and careers. I have taken a step back from that mission and goal, and Laurie and I have been doing episodes on our own. I've been doing some solo episodes, and we are keeping the ball rolling. If I have something to say or Laurie brings a topic to me, we will release an episode on said topic on Fridays as of now. So you are on that schedule. And today I do have something to say. So I got an email this week from the dog food advisor. So if we back up a little bit, in November, I released a small series on dog food. And I talked about what to think about when you're making the decision for what to feed your dog. I talked about carbohydrates. I talked a little bit about the breakfast effect. And generally speaking, was pretty vague because I don't want to endorse a certain way of feeding or a specific brand of dog food, because I'm a believer that different products and different ways of feeding are going to work well for some dogs and they're not going to work well for others. And I don't want anybody listening to say, well, Leah feeds this type of dog food to her dog, I'm going to do that, and kind of disregard any of your dog's biofeedback because I said it. So that's kind of where I land when it comes to that topic. In those episodes, I gave examples of your dog's biofeedback. So if we're looking at our dog's stool, their skin, their nails, their teeth, their eyes, their ears, their nails, those items are going to give us valuable information, and they're going to tell us whether our dog's food is, quote, working or not. So be smart, observe your dog, observe their appetite, observe their biofeedback, and there are literally thousands of options that you have when it comes to what or how to feed your dog. One of the resources that I gave in those episodes was the Dog Food Advisor, which is a website that reviews dog food. So they take dog food and they break the food down by a list of ingredients, and they have a list of, quote, questionable ingredients, right? So it's like questionable whether or not this is a super bioavailable ingredient for your dog as far as the way that your dog digests it. And they will rate dog foods based on their ingredients. So as you can imagine, some dog foods score very low and other dog foods score very high. And if you're interested, I would check out the website, do your own research. I think it's pretty comprehensive. And generally speaking, I think that the fellow that edits and writes for the Dog Food Advisor is pretty unbiased when it comes to this stuff. So they do run ads in their emails and on their website, but they don't get paid to do what they do as far as actually rating the food. Okay. So it's, in my opinion, a good resource. If anybody wanted to argue with me, I'm all ears, but it's the first place that I go to when I am picking up a food and looking at the ingredients, because I don't know what all of the different ingredients are. And, you know, I like to be educated when I make those decisions. So the title of the email that I got from Andrew, who's the editor, on Wednesday is titled The Purina Rumors. Okay, so if you are a dog person and you've been on social media in the past 4-ish months, you have undoubtedly seen a shared post about Purina dog food and a lot of claims associated with dogs that have eaten Purina dog food and either gotten sick or died. And the trouble is, all of this information lives in social media land, right? And it's difficult, like as a general consumer, to be able to parse out what's true from what's conflated stories, from what's trying to get attention, from what might be malicious. And I know that it can be really easy to hit that share button when you see something that makes you really angry or makes you really sad, or is a real lived experience had by another person that you resonate with. But especially if you own a business, that is just not a good idea. I'm just giving you my own personal opinion about this, but I don't think it's a good idea to endorse an idea or a claim or anything like that if you don't really know if it's true. And if somebody loses their dog dies, and that person really believes that their dog ate this dog food and that's what killed them without any evidence, and they share that on social media, if they put the right pictures up there and put the right words up there, they're going to get a lot of attention, and it's going to pull on maybe your heartstrings, and it would be very easy for you to share that information without really examining whether or not it's true. And that's how disinformation spreads, okay? So my challenge for you in recording this podcast is to just think about it before you hit that share button or before you endorse an idea. Because unfortunately, when we share things on social media, it's an endorsement. It's spreading the information. So I really like Andrew's approach to the topic, and I like his point of view, and obviously he has way more information about it than I do. I'm going to go ahead and read a couple of paragraphs out of the email. I would encourage you to sign up for the Dog Food Advisor's email list. You'll get recall alerts and also like these blog style posts from the editors. I don't know if this is up on their website or not, and it already got emailed. So again, if you want it, shoot me an email, Leah at fitpetboston.com, and I will send it to you. Okay, here we go. If you're not aware of these rumors, you can Google away, but in short, there have been anecdotal reports online of people claiming their pets became sick or died after eating various Purina dog food recipes. I use the word claiming not to imply disbelief, but because I'm a journalist by training and I try to be accurate and deal in facts. I know the horrendous pain suffered by anyone losing a pet, but there is currently no concrete evidence of any issue with Purina food. This is how the Dog Food Advisor has always worked and has to work. We only report dog food recalls and warning letters from the FDA. We don't act on rumors. That's a slippery slope. We know the awful effects of large-scale disinformation, how easily it spreads online, particularly if it fits with people's prejudices or fears. That disinformation is often passed on by people with the very best of intentions. So where does that leave us? This is what we know at the time of my writing. The rumors began and have spread on social media, notably TikTok and Facebook. These rumors began around ProPlan, but now feature multiple Purina ranges and recipes. There is no solid evidence to support the rumors. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has not commented on the matter. There are vested interests in all potential outcomes. Purina has denied any problems with its food, blaming misinformation and potentially malicious agendas. Purina has denied rumors in the past with similar explanations. Purina's pet food has caused sickness in animals in the past and has been recalled. Recalls do not mean a food company is bad. It often means it has good testing programs. Social media can cause panic and disinformation to spread. People spreading stories on social media without firsthand knowledge of these stories can make something seem bigger than it is, even if done with good intentions. What if dogs are getting sick and those dogs have eaten Purina, but Purina isn't the cause? Millions of dogs eat Purina each day. Dogs sadly get sick. These two facts will cross over at some point. Some dogs that eat Purina or any dog food brand will get sick. There doesn't have to be a causal link, but it only takes a few people, honestly or otherwise, suggesting one to start a snowball. Someone else has a sick dog who eats Purina. They see these stories online and think, maybe that's what happened to my dog. So they tell their story. Other concerned pet parents with no firsthand experience of any issues think they're doing the right thing by sharing that story, and thus the snowball grows. And it's a very long email. I probably just read about half of it. If you're interested, again, I will send it to you. But the whole idea of a causal effect is where my mind goes with this issue. Now, that's not to say that a month, 2 months down the road, the dog food might not get recalled. That's not what this email is saying. What this email is saying is that all of the evidence exists right now on social media. There haven't been any recalls by the FDA, and it's important to distinguish when there is an actual recall and when rumors are being spread on social media. But if we think about any vet's office, let's say, for example, and this is an example I'm going to use because maybe a couple of years ago, I asked my vet, hey, Dr. Heckerling, 10 years ago, how many cases of Addison's disease would you diagnose per year? And he said, I rarely many at all. And then he went on to say in the last 10 years, it's been more, he's been diagnosing it more. And I said, why? And he said, I don't know. Okay, so let's take, now Dr. Heckerling doesn't sell any dog food in his store, but let's say a different vet. A different vet, you walk in, they're selling Hill Science Diet. And they started selling Hill Science Diet in 2015. And from 2015 to 2024, this is all made up, by the way, to 2024, their cases of Addison's disease has gone up 80%. 50% of their clients are on Hill Science Diet because they sell in the store. It's always available. They sell it for a good price. Okay. We can make a causal link between Addison's disease and Hill Science Diet at that particular practice, right? Is that a fair anecdote to make? I think most people would say no. There's something else going on that's causing Addison's disease. I don't think we really know what it is, but it is something that, from what I've seen and ask a vet about, it's something that is more prevalent, I should say, now than it has been in the past. But to say that that's because of a specific brand of dog food, it's not just a stretch. It's not true. So basically, what Andrew is saying in this email is the same thing, right? We have a causal, a causal anecdote when it comes to these stories that are being spread on social media. And he goes out of his way to say, as of now, this is the information that we have. And he once again says, millions of dogs eat Purina each day. I mean, it's one of the most popular brands of dog food. I am not endorsing this dog food, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to make heads or tails out of this issue that has come about because people have the ability now to make huge claims online via social media. So basically, the takeaway from this episode is be skeptical when you are interacting with social media posts, especially if they're overwhelmingly negative, if they're making really ostentatious claims, if it's something that, you're like, I'm not so sure whether or not this is, this is good. It's okay to keep scrolling. You don't have to share it. And all that to say, are there times when crazy things do happen? Yes, absolutely. It definitely is the case where, sometimes something really bad will happen. And the only reason that it does get any recognition is because somebody shared it on social media. But with Purina dog food, there is an ability to investigate and see what actually is going on. And currently, there's no investigation to see what's going on. And so we don't have any evidence to point us in a direction that there is actually this huge problem. And there's one point in the email, another point in the email I want to find. I'm going to search for it now. Okay, here we go. We know the awful effects of large-scale disinformation, how easily it's spread online, particularly if it fits with people's prejudices. I read this already. It also hampers the ability of people to expose genuine malpractice and cover-ups by making it harder for the truth to battle through the noise and skepticism. I thought that was a really good point. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say about that. Again, using this email kind of as a reference for the topic today. Be skeptical. Don't feel compelled to share things that seem a little stinky when you see them online. Go out of your way to try to do a little bit of digging, do a little bit of research. I know it's really hard this day and age because there's so much information out there. But again, I was really impressed with this messaging, with this email. And if anything further does happen with Purina dog food, I would sign up for the dog food advisor because they'll send you a recall alert right away. All right, that's all I had to say for today. Hit that like, subscribe button on the podcast on whatever platform you're listening on, whether it's Spotify, Apple, or iHeartRadio. It really helps out the show if you're into what you're listening to, and we will see you next time.